From running track to running records behind bars, Chrisean Rock went from a girl who was raised in a family with financial aid that could barely cover one square meal a day to being homeless. Chrisean, aka Shawnee, has seen it all, and one would probably wonder that she'd know better. She'd know how to deal with life, fame, money, and luxury. But who knew it wouldn't take too long for her to exploit it all and dominate every social media platform with her presence. It almost seemed like she wasn't ready to go down alone, and took the people involved with her down too. Things got as bad as Shawnee being arrested more than once in just 2 years. So here's everything you need to know about Chrisean Rock's drama that doesn't seem to have an end. Money can change a person, make one turn their back on their day ones, and it seems like the saying wasn't far from the truth as we see Shawnee reach new peaks with every video of hers. From being slapped with the internet's dangerous mom label to proving the internet right by being subjected to CPS inspections, Chrisean Rock has done it all. Let's keep the saucy part for later and begin with what made her the way she is now. Chrisean Eugenia Malone was born into a family of 12, so one could imagine how hard it must have been financially. With her father in prison for the majority of her childhood and her mother struggling with drug addiction, she had no parent to guide or supervise her. Every child deserves a parent, but not every parent deserves a child, and in this case, there were 12. She attended Santa Monica College in California as a student athlete briefly and appeared on the show Ultimate Tag, completing the course in 50 seconds and winning the $10,000 grand prize. However, she did not become popular on the internet for her talent or athleticism, but for how low she could go for views, fame, and money, potentially jeopardizing her children, relationships, and family. The way she behaves is entirely how she has chosen to present herself to the internet, and not because of anybody's influence, especially her ex-fiancé, Blueface, whom people often accuse. In all fairness, he has been locked up in jail for over 2 years now, and the fact that Chrisean Rock has only turned out to be worse than anticipated says more about her than any potential influence shifting her traits from their original state. People who once supported her no matter what are now starting to wonder if what she's doing is even real, especially when you have to watch a grown woman behaving like a baby. It definitely wasn't easy for me to watch while I was hoarding clips for this video. I watched it, and so will you. Besides her appearance on the show Ultimate Tag, she stopped attending university and began appearing on an OnlyFans show called Blue Girls Club, living in Blueface's mansion for a month to establish herself on his platform. At the time, Blueface had 7 million followers on Instagram and offered women the opportunity to make a name for themselves. Soon enough, Shawnee became a total hit, which led Blueface to sign her as an artist to his label Blueface LLC. He also signed another contestant, Bonnie Lachey, alongside Chrisean. Before she met Blueface and became a sensation on OnlyFans, she launched her own YouTube channel in 2018. She gained over 30 million views in a few years and eventually became a part of the Blue Girls Club. For those who never watched Blue Girls Club, here's what it's about in a nutshell. Blue Girls Club is a reality-style show created by rapper Blueface. It's loosely inspired by the older show Bad Girls Club, a controversial Oxygen reality series, but reimagined for OnlyFans. The format goes like this. A group of women from across the US is brought into Blueface's mansion for a 3-week stay, and while they are there, their interactions are filmed. Everything they do, from partying, fights, tattoo sessions, drinking games, drama, gossip, and more. In one of the episodes, the fight got a bit wild. Maybe a bit is an understatement, given how Chrisean Rock lost her front tooth over it. This happened during an altercation with Jaden Alexis. Alexis claimed she knocked Chrisean's tooth out during a fight at Blueface's house, but some reports suggest Chrisean might have actually broken it herself when she hit her face on a statue while trying to get away. Well, she not only won the show, but her commitment also caught Blueface's attention. Hang tight until I tell you what happened between the two of them.
I thought she was weird and just raunchy. So my baby mom was like, you like her, you giving her all this attention, you paying attention to her more than others.
It's funny how the baby moms could tell right away.
Right.
Yeah, she
So she pulled up with like 10 of her friends and like tried to jump this girl, right? And so she runs out, and as she's running, she hit her face on like a statue in the house. And that's how her tooth got missing.
Damn.
So I took her to the dentist. They like, it was just hanging. I'm like, hopefully they can fix it. They're like, no, we gotta pull it. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Oh wow, yeah.
So that's how I just was like, damn, now I gotta fix this.
See where we going with this one, Didi. You on that freak shit. Bitch wanna meet me in person, tell her to meet this. Bitch, I got the money just because of me. I only with her once, but she ain't.
These episodes were streamed on OnlyFans, and subscribers had to pay in order to watch them. Besides how entertaining it potentially was, some viewers criticized the show, claiming it sexualized women. The participants also stated that the show was not going as promised, and that it wasn't what they signed up for. Drinking games, sex toys, matching tattoos, and physical altercations were common parts of the show, which was one of the major reasons behind all the controversy. Unlike conventional reality TV, the OnlyFans model enables direct monetization from a paying audience, giving the show a more adult-oriented, subscription-based approach that focuses on engagement and exclusivity. Blueface has stated that he finances a significant portion of the operation, covering the woman's travel to LA, housing, and other financial needs while they are participating in the program. Regarding the purpose of Blue Girls Club, Blueface has publicly defended the project as a way to help women build their personal brands and gain exposure in a highly competitive entertainment landscape. He has emphasized that the program is intended not merely for entertainment or exploitation, but as a developmental platform. According to him, the show is designed to test and strengthen the participants' temper, attitude, patience, and composure, offering them a chance to grow under pressure while navigating interpersonal dynamics in a high-intensity environment. In interviews, he has framed the show as a second chance for women who may lack alternative avenues for generating income or establishing themselves in the public eye, presenting it as both an opportunity for personal growth and a potential launch pad for careers in music, entertainment, or social media influence. This setup is kind of a mix of mentorship, exposure, and straight-up reality drama. The environment is definitely high stakes and chaotic, but Blueface frames it as a controlled space where the women can learn to handle stress, deal with conflict, and build some serious resilience, skills he says are key not just entertainment, but in life too. With financial support, curated exposure, and all the intense social interactions, it creates a unique space where these women can entertain an audience while also picking up real skills in self-promotion, managing their public image, and building their brand. That sounds like a win-win situation without having to be the type of person who falls behind on rent. In one of the interviews, Blueface admitted that he hated Chrisean Rock when he first signed her, but he decided to try to handle her volatile personality anyway. I mean, breaking her front tooth over some fight says it all. He later realized her erratic personality worked well on camera, because, let's be honest, who wouldn't want to watch something as sleazy as that on TV, huh? Oh well, hate is definitely a strong word for someone who is about to become his future baby mama. This probably now seems like a haters to lovers plot, except this plot comes with the added toxicity of a handful of couples combined. To be very honest with you, at very first, I hated her, Blueface said. Not hated her, but I thought she was too raunchy, too weird, and then the raunchy weird stuff started being good for the camera. I guess so it started to stick. And she had a great impact on the Blue Girls Club. What it really was, she had lost her front tooth on the show, and I just felt like super guilty about it. I'm like, damn, I gotta change her life now because I felt like it was my fault, you know? I felt guilty. Before then, I had no intentions of managing anybody or signing any artists. He also admitted that she definitely has the potential to become insanely famous in the future, and he probably wasn't wrong about that.
What did you see in her that made was like she's a star?
To be very honest with you, at first, I hated her. Not hated her, but I just thought she was just too raunchy, just too weird. And then, I mean, the raunchy, weird stuff just started like being good for like the camera, I guess, you know? So it started to stick. And she had a great impact on the Blue Girls Club, so it was just like, all right,
Like, I guess.
that's amazing. But what it really was she had lost her tooth on the show, and I just felt like super guilty about it. And I was like, damn, I gotta change her life now because like I feel like it was my fault, you know?
Yeah.
So I felt guilty.
It was.
So that's really how that came about. Like before then, I had no intentions of managing anybody. I had no intentions of signing any artists or anything. But You want to hear the story?
Yeah, we got to
Okay.
know the full story.
According to Blueface, Chrisean made a major impact on the show. And after she lost her front tooth in an altercation there, he felt guilty and decided to change her life, which contributed to her being signed to his label. She used this as her platform to showcase her presence, and later found opportunities to be cast in music videos. Her time on Blue Girls Club was significant for her career. She used the visibility to launch music and build her personal brand. In 2020, after Blue Girls Club, she released her debut single, Lonely, featuring Blueface. In 2021, Chrisean kept building momentum with new releases, especially her single, Vibe. The track really boosted her visibility in the music scene and got a lot of attention on streaming platforms and social media. By the end of that year, Chrisean not only established herself as a reality TV personality, but also as an artist. From being dead broke to becoming famous on the internet, Chrisean Rock has most definitely come a long way. And now that we know how she became a popular figure, let's get to the point where she met Blueface and how things took a romantic turn between them. Chrisean Rock's journey with Blueface is one of the most public, messy, and emotionally volatile stories in recent hip-hop reality TV lore. They met on the reality TV show hosted by Blueface, and that's where it all started. Their story begins in 2020, at the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic, when Blueface created the show Blue Girls Club, a show that was part dating, part brand building. Chrisean Rock stood out from the very beginning. She knew her agenda, didn't shy away from anything, and was fully committed to establishing herself and taking full advantage of the platform. The surface information says that she did sign his record label, Blueface LLC. However, there's some confusion and dispute around how real or formal that contract was. Some reports suggest she later denied that it was a traditional deal. While she released her music videos and was gradually gaining popularity as an artist, Blueface and Chrisean's love also grew deeper. Chrisean made the relationship official by tweeting this. In February 2022, things between Chrisean Rock and Blueface took a wild turn when Chrisean got arrested in Oklahoma. She was charged with possession of a controlled substance with intent to distribute and with receiving and concealing a stolen vehicle. Blueface went public, saying the vehicle was his G-Wagon and expressing how betrayed and angry he felt on social media. According to him, she stole the car and thought she was gonna drive to Baltimore, calling it the worst thing you can be as a female. From Chrisean's side, she later explained in a jailhouse interview that she was tweaking at the time and tried to use the arrest as a moment to heal. I use this time to really heal. I'm just healing from a lot of shit. I don't be telling y'all everything. Despite all of that, they somehow stayed together. Chrisean Rock was not considered manageable by those around her. She would go along with plans, get things started, and then act independently, often causing conflict. Confronting her could lead to aggression, making her unpredictable and difficult to control, and this was one of them. If you thought stealing a car was wild, the next one is about to be wilder. Just a few months later, in May 2022, things got a bit rocky yet again. According to reports, Chrisean got into a confrontation with Blueface's mom, Carlissa Saffold, and his sister. According to Nicki Swift, Chrisean later said she felt pushed into violence because things with Blueface's family had gotten so bad. Blueface didn't address the fight directly, but the rift was real. His mom even publicly said she would never accept Chrisean around the family again. For Chrisean, the conflict was deeply personal. She later accused her father of past abuse and explained that some of her defensive aggression came from trauma she experienced as a child. A video posted by Blueface shows him asking Chrisean Rock about the altercation, with her saying, "They gave me no option." Now, footage has surfaced of the conflict between Chrisean and Blueface's sister. In the video, Chrisean is seen swinging at Blueface's sister and throwing her to the ground. Since then, Blueface's mom has taken to social media to call out her son. "Jonathan, you need help, and if I have enabled you in any way, I will ask God for forgiveness," said Carlissa Saffold. She went on, "You brought that trash bag and her dog where I laid my head and paid rent while helping you build your business, and I asked you more than 10 times to get her out of my face. You sicked that girl on me like a vicious dog." Saffold didn't hold back and went, I never believed them about you, but now I see. You are the living devil that I got pregnant with after that abortion. Yep, things got as toxic as that.
Right. No, wait. I'm recording.
You are.
Yeah. So
Oh, let me be proper.
Right.
Yes.
Why did you beat the?
They give me no option. Okay, look, I got 12 siblings. They would have beat him up. I don't fight. I'm a baby.
Well, why you bleed them like that? They saying I beat them up.
They just want their money. They're weird.
They fought a female. They saying they fought me. I'm a whole boxer over here.
Okay, quick question. What's
Right? Just tell them why you beat them up, though. My mom's still staying at my house, talking about I beat her up. With her husband there.
I beat her up. But I'm not happy. But
Yeah. No, it's nothing to be happy about. It's just, yeah, like, why you beat my sister up, though?
I mean, I don't even know what she was doing. Like,
She just pulled up for a fight, huh?
her pulled my hair and hit me. What you talking about?
Yeah, I know. It's all good, though. You did your They crying wolf right now, though. They talking about I beat him up.
How they cry wolf? My family didn't get to him yet. Babe, what's
They
going
crying
on?
wolf because they saying I beat them up. I physically touched them. Even though you just whooped them out, so they like.
Man, I can't lynch you. Why they have me in handcuffs?
Right? I damn near went to jail.
I can't lynch you. That's crazy. I'm sorry. Okay, so what's the plan? 'Cause
There ain't no
they at
plan.
your house.
They,
When you
they,
go
they
home.
can stay there. They can have a house.
No,
They
no,
can
I don't
shit.
go home. Can you
They
get
can
him?
have a house. They talking about that.
People started talking online about her behavior in this video and speculating whether she was under the influence. The truth is, we don't really know if she took any substances or was just drunk, but from what we just saw, it wouldn't be totally wrong to jump to conclusions. Some even say that it seems like he frequently drugs her and makes her say stuff. Some even predicted that if they were to break up, it's going to be an awful one, and they weren't wrong. We'll soon get to the rest of the story. The summer of 2022 was full of violent episodes for Chrisean and Blueface. In July, there was an incident in Hollywood where Chrisean allegedly attacked Blueface on a sidewalk, and his security team had to step in to restrain her. Then in August, she was arrested in Scottsdale, Arizona on misdemeanor charges for criminal trespassing and disorderly conduct. Blueface later clarified that, according to him, she didn't go to jail for assaulting him, she went for trespassing in a bar. On social media, he showed what looked like a bruise around his eye and said Chrisean hit me with a banger, claiming she swung at him multiple times before security intervened. The whole episode highlighted just how volatile their relationship had become, both emotionally and physically. The summer of 2022 was full of violent episodes for Chrisean and Blueface. In July, there was an incident in Hollywood where Chrisean allegedly attacked Blueface on a sidewalk, and his security team had to step in to restrain her. After she was arrested, Blueface went on Instagram to try to calm the controversy, saying the arrest was for trespassing, not their fight. He didn't exactly deny that punches were thrown, though, on IG Live. He admitted Chrisean packs a serious punch, saying, "She hit me with a banger. I was like, ooh." At this point, Blueface was the one taking the hits, but it wasn't long before he started throwing them back on his own. People in the comments summed up their relationship as super toxic, while some cheered, saying they match each other's freak. Technically, they hit each other and no one was being abused, so while some were concerned, others found it funny how a couple went from being obsessed with each other to fighting on the streets. Then, in August, she was arrested in Scottsdale, Arizona on misdemeanor charges for criminal trespassing and disorderly conduct. Blueface later clarified that, according to him, she didn't go to jail for assaulting him, she went for trespassing in a bar. On social media, he showed what looked like a bruise around his eye and said Chrisean hit me with a banger, claiming she swung at him multiple times before security intervened. The whole episode highlighted just how volatile their relationship had become, both emotionally and physically. Couples might have a monthly agenda to plan dates or visit new places, but with Chrisean and Blueface, things are quite different. They set records for going to prison each month. Next up, things got really fiery in September, when a simple family gathering at the Four Seasons Hotel in Baltimore turned dangerous. At the Plush location, tensions were already high. Chrisean's father tried to call out Blueface for supposedly putting his hands on her, and things quickly escalated. Her father, with whom she isn't as close with, threw a punch at Blueface, and he didn't hold back. Since Blueface had experience in bare-knuckle fighting championships, he ended up knocking her father out. And not so surprisingly, this event didn't seem to bother Chrisean. She simply said, "So my boyfriend knocked my dad out." Chrisean later said on social media, "The family stuff didn't go well. I don't even know what's going on." She also shared more about her complicated relationship with her father, saying he had it coming because of past abuse. "The same dad that got knocked out is the same guy who tied my mama up in the woods just to beat her because she screamed so loud when he was hitting her in front of us," she wrote in a now-deleted tweet. "He went out of his way to damage my whole family. That's the same dad I met when I was 7. Somebody was supposed to knock that N-word out a long time ago."
Oh, just knocked his ass out. Blueface just ran down on him. He just knocked his ass out.
What's happening? Man, this shit ain't happening. This shit out of each other. Oh, this shit. All right, so let me go. No, this shit too hot. What you holding for? Get old ass hand. Why you holding me? I know. I don't. City, nigga. This ain't you fight over me. This whole job people. I don't need you that. There we go right there. What's the difference between us?
The full fight was finally shown in its entirety during the first episode of the couple's new reality show, Crazy in Love. If you're wondering how the conversation between Rock's father and Blueface went, here it is. "I'm her father," Rock's father says. "Nice to meet you, father," Blueface responds, before being warned to never touch my daughter like that ever again. "So, you teach your daughter to put hands on men?" Blueface replies. From there, Rock's father lands a punch right on Blueface's face, and he briefly stumbles before the two begin trying to grab each other as the show's entourage aim to break up the fight. After the previously leaked clip made the rounds on social media, Chrisean Rock revealed that Blueface eventually emerged victorious in the fight. Blueface's mother then retorted and accused Rock of lying. But in a later post on his Instagram stories, Blueface wrote, "I'm her daddy now." At this point, the couple's families were at each other's throats, and things had gotten pretty nasty on both sides. From Chrisean going at Blueface's family to him clashing with hers, it was messy all around. But despite how far downhill things went, they somehow stayed together, because toxicity aside, they really did like each other's vibe. They were genuinely obsessed with each other, like I mentioned earlier. And when I say obsessed, I mean it literally. Things even reached a point where Chrisean got Blueface's face tattooed on her neck. As extreme as it sounds, she went through with it anyway. So let's briefly go through all the tattoos Rox has gotten over the years to honor their relationship. Chrisean's first Blueface-inspired tattoo was the name Jonathan, Blueface's real first name tattooed above her eyebrow. This was early in their relationship, and it instantly became one of her signature looks. She explained that she wanted something permanent to show her loyalty, and this eyebrow tattoo became the first of many. Not long after, she shocked the internet with a stomach tattoo that read Jonathan's across her lower abdomen. The tattoo caused massive debate across social media, with people calling it extreme, bold, or just flat out wild. But Chrisean said she got it because it is what it is, standing firm in her decision and her connection to Blueface. Then came one of her most recognized tattoos, a full portrait of Blueface on the front of her neck. This tattoo was large, unmistakable, and placed in a spot almost impossible to hide. It became a symbol of how deeply tied she felt to him at the time, and fans were divided between calling it iconic and calling it concerning. She wasn't done with the neck area yet. After the portrait, Chrisean added Blueface's full legal name, Jonathan Jamal Porter, tattooed on her neck as well. Between the name and the portrait, her entire neck area began to represent him, making these some of the most boldest dedications she'd ever made. During all of this, Blueface actually posted a video saying he told her not to get the tattoo. But despite his pushback, she went ahead and got another portrait of his face on the front of her neck in May. This time, Blueface seemed to love it and proudly showed it off in a video. When he asked, "What's on your neck?" Chrisean responded, "Your face, N-word. So when they see me, they see you." Over time, she also added smaller tattoos connected to Blueface, including variations of his name, initials, and symbols related to him. While not all of these minor tattoos are documented individually, they contributed to the count that fans often estimate to be around 7 tattoos dedicated to him. The most shocking tattoo came in early 2024, when Chrisean revealed a massive portrait of Blueface tattooed on the entire right side of her face. This tattoo, modeled after his mugshot, stretched from her temple down to her jawline. When she debuted it, social media went into chaos, with people debating whether it was real, why she did it, and what it meant for their already complicated relationship. Chrisean made it clear the tattoo was 100% real, and said she did it to show love and support during the period when Blueface was in jail. Despite how committed she seemed, she later mentioned that she was considering getting some of her Blueface tattoos removed, especially the ones on prominent areas like her face and neck. She talked publicly about laser removal, though at different points, she's gone back and forth depending on where the relationship stands. She previously told The Shade Room that her goal was to get 7 tattoos for him, and now she's reached that number. In a recent tweet, she said she's not a toxic woman. She and Blueface just want different things at the moment. No one knows when they'll officially call it quits, but for now, keeping up with them won't be hard. Let's get back to their 2022 lore and the list of physical assaults back and forth. In October 2022, Chrisean publicly claimed via Instagram Live that Blueface had physically harmed her, showing what looked like a busted lip and nose, and alleging that he flew off the handle after she texted another man. But within 24 hours, she retracted the accusations. She admitted she had blacked out after a bad trip on alcohol and said that Blueface was actually trying to prevent her from hurting herself while she attempted to jump out of a moving car. Her flip-flopping on the issue made things sound quite fishy, and viewers started to wonder if this was a moment of real danger or just mood swings in their toxic, tangled relationship.
You big. You punched me in my mouth. What are you talking about? Punch me in my eye. Use a. So what? The fuck, this is a busted lip, busted nose. You lying. You wear.
In that IG Live, she said, "No filter, no makeup. I had a bad trip yesterday with Casamigos. I tried to jump out of a car on the highway. Blueface was keeping me from jumping out of the car. I thought that was trying to get the out of the car, but he was trying to save me. I just blacked out." It doesn't really add up, and the whole situation seems like it's in bits and pieces. What do you think actually happened? Do you think Blueface had something to do with this sudden shift in the story, or was she simply drunk? At this point, the couple's chaotic personal life had basically turned into content. Honestly, everything up to now, stealing his car, getting into fights with each other's families, felt more like a storyline than something happening naturally. The Zeus Network had officially backed a reality docu-series for them called Blueface and Chrisean, Crazy in Love. The announcement came as Chrisean declared publicly that she was single, tweeting, "Y'all can have him. Chrisean Rock is single. Chrisean, you are enough." Although the exact cause of what went down for the two to temporarily split is not yet known, she did reveal in that a fight between the two had turned incredibly volatile. "I almost went to jail. Yo, I swear to God," she said. "I broke everything in my hotel room in front of that N-word. The TV, the window, he had to run from that hotel to another." 2022 was quite the year, and it ended with a huge shakeup. On November 15th, 2022, Blueface was arrested in Las Vegas on very serious charges: attempted murder and discharging a firearm into or at an occupied structure. Chrisean posted emotional reactions on her Instagram and Twitter right after, writing that she would wait for him and lamenting that they took you. She also changed her Instagram profile picture to his mugshot and expressed deep faith, saying, "Jesus got us. I'm your rock forever." Her public displays of support during his arrest underscored how entangled her identity had become with his, even as everything around them was collapsing. On Twitter, she also wrote, "Ugh, why gotta take you from me?" on November 15th, shortly after Blueface's arrest. She followed her tweet up with a video she recorded of her and Blueface walking through a hotel together and kissing outside of an elevator. Chrisean said the video was taken 3 hours before his arrest, writing, "Daddy, this was 3 hours before they took you from me." She shared a similar video on her Instagram account with the caption, "This was 3 hours before they took you from me. Jesus got us. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. I'm your rock forever." The attempted murder charge was eventually dropped as part of the plea deal, with Porter pleading guilty to battery and the discharging a firearm charge in July. Additionally, the rules of Porter's probation forbid alcohol or drugs, possessing weapons, or contacting the victim. He'll also have to avoid the Las Vegas Strip, as well as the city's downtown area, unless it's for work-related purposes. The arrest appeared to be an undercover operation, with 6 to 8 officers present. Some of them weren't quite happy with Blueface's sentence and wished for a jail sentence instead of just probation. People say this was simply celebrity privileges, while a homeless man stealing a burger would get him behind bars for longer. He was imprisoned in the Clark County Detention Center. On October 2nd, 2023, he was sentenced to 3 years probation, with a possible 2 to 5 year prison sentence if he violates probation. While his girlfriend and future baby mama, Chrisean, said she would wait for her boyfriend and will be supporting him during his court appearance, adding, "That's all that matters. He's coming home. I don't know what y'all are talking about." And that's how 2022 went. Let's now get to what happened in January 2023. The first month of the year, Chrisean Rock announced publicly that she was pregnant with Babyface's baby. She posted images of 3 positive pregnancy tests on her Instagram story, writing, "Guess how many heartbeats?" Yep, she announced it following their breakup. She added in her live that she was to keep the baby and that she doesn't care because they then broke up over random things every other weekend. Blueface was quick to take to Twitter to clarify some things about their relationship. And of course, things didn't go tame regardless of her situation. While Chrisean Rock claims it's Babyface's baby, he denies it. He pulled the classic Hollywood dysfunctional couple move. He retweeted, "To answer y'all's questions, yes, me and Rock are officially done. It's strictly business. I tried it, and clearly it wasn't giving before," she announces. "She's pregnant with somebody else's child, not mine." This eventually became a fiery back and forth in no time. Chrisean shot back for his retweet, saying, "So what happens when you eat all your evil words? I haven't sexually been active with no one but you, and plus, there's a DNA test, and I need your money, and I got my own. I don't need a baby daddy. I'm just having this child because I don't want to keep aborting." Just like she confirmed in one of her live videos, she was going to keep the baby, admitting that she had 3 abortions before that. and that there was no chance she would terminate this one. Blueface allegedly denied being the father because he suspected that Chrisean Rock allegedly slept around and that the chances of him being the father were impossible. Blueface went on. Rock has had encounters with 10 different men in the last year. Until I see DNA tests, then it's not mine. Rock replied again. Blue, tread lightly. God don't like ugly for real. Boy, I don't need you. LOL. I want you. That's the difference, she said. Blueface didn't stop. He went, promise you, I don't need a cent from you. Then when we do a DNA test and it's yours, just know I'll tell my children you died so you wouldn't have an excuse to be in the child's life. This my baby, and that's that, she said. We broke up before knowing I was pregnant. I still ain't do nothing sexually with any dude. I'll be a dumbass if I didn't know for certain. When she went live on Instagram, she cleared it all out. From Babyface being the parent to what she was going to do with her baby, and the viewers seemed to agree with her for once, and a lot of comments said that they'll be back in no time. And they weren't wrong. I mean, they do play a very predictable pattern. They have the classic breakup and makeup cycle. Around the same time, in late January, Blueface and Chrisean released a music video for their collaboration, Dear Rock, in which they staged a mock wedding in a chapel, symbolic more than real, but it fed into their relationship narrative. Chrisean Rock went on Instagram Live discussing her 2023 pregnancy journey. At the time, she was 5.5 months pregnant and confirmed she was in her second trimester. She stated that she and Blueface were no longer together, explaining that even though they still had occasional contact, she considered herself single and was moving forward independently.
And then the real reason why I was so surprised I was 5 months is because, I don't know about you, but my days and months and years have been going by so fast. I'm always booked every weekend. During the week, I'm doing something. I don't know, I have a lit lifestyle. It's fun. So I remember taking a test and then, boom, getting into it about the baby. And then trying to forget that I am pregnant. And then hustling, still getting booked every weekend, acting like I'm not pregnant. And then when the film, we gotta pick up film again, so they want to track what's going on. So then they're like, you gotta go to an appointment, you gotta do this. And I'm just like, Lord, thank you for pulling this all together. Like, so my mother then was flown out for the experience. 2, I really had time to just make time for the baby. So then, by the time I made time for the baby, because I was already took my prenatal film when I first found out. But
She talked about the constant drama and the pace of her career made her lose track of the time. She said she was booked almost every weekend, filming during the week, and staying busy enough to forget she was pregnant at times. She admitted she spent the early months of her pregnancy drinking, partying, and ignoring the reality of what she was experiencing. Oh boy. Some claim that it might have a simple mocktail. However, she made it clear in her live video, for someone so used to partying and drinking, the sudden shift could be difficult. Chrisean described how filming required her to attend doctor's appointments, which forced her to take the pregnancy seriously. She recalled an episode where she saw her baby on the ultrasound, heard the loud heartbeat, and immediately became emotional. She said that moment grounded her and made her fully acknowledge the baby as hers, shifting her mindset completely. She also admitted that before that, she low-key kept pushing away the pregnancy because she was not only single, but it was overwhelming, and she had to deal with personal issues.
Make time for the baby. So then, by the time I made time for the baby, because I was already taking my prenatal film when I first found out. But I started taking my time with a lot of things because I wanted to be filmed. I wanted everything to be filmed. I wanted the first real doctor's appointment to be filmed. I wanted the reactions. I wanted the pain. I wanted the authenticity. I wanted everything to be documented. So I held off on a lot of baby stuff, like, till I started filming. Hey, Sky.
She acknowledged the fact that she was pregnant with her baby and attempted to change her lifestyle eventually. She said she stopped drinking and became more aware of how alcohol had been affecting her reactions, her skin, and her stress. She explained that once she slowed down, she noticed emotional and physical improvements.
I'm not getting drunk. I don't even feel that for me. I'm gonna lock in. Like, super lock in and be happy and content. That's it, happy and content. And then, so I'm trying to feel sick.
She also talked about her past experiences, helping raise her nephew when her sister was incarcerated, and said that caring for a baby felt natural to her. She viewed motherhood as motivating and said she was ready for it.
Our motivations. Because I remember when my sister Chastity, she got locked up, right? And her son was a newborn. And he came stay. Well, first she was with the best friend, but then when the best friend, like, did her time and shared, and then her kid was staying with my mom. Me and my little brother picked up on some parental duties, and it wasn't that bad at all. I actually loved it. I think it's like a natural instinct kicked in. It's beautiful. But no, I guess everything that's upcoming this week, this weekend, and next weekend is lit. I'm gonna be performing at this big arena.
A lot of her supporters believed in her and her pregnancy. They also liked the fact that she was away from Blueface during this period, given how erratic and toxic he can behave. Let's briefly discuss Rock's arrest that happened in 2022. The case involved multiple charges, and for a long time, it remained unresolved while she continued to work, tour, film, and navigate her turbulent relationship with Blueface. Throughout 2022, the case followed her from state to state, appearing in court calendars, online records, and fan discussions. By March 2023, the case finally reached its conclusion. Instead of being sentenced to jail, Chrisean received 4 years of probation, along with a requirement to complete 120 hours of community service. On paper, that outcome meant relief. She avoided incarceration, which could have stopped her career completely and interrupted everything she had been building. But the sentence also came with long-term responsibilities and restrictions that she would have to carry for years. The probation, of course, came with rules. The probation conditions meant she had to maintain good behavior, avoid new legal trouble, stay in contact with her probation officer, and complete her community service hours within a set time frame. For someone whose life was constantly in the public eye and frequently surrounded by conflict, that brought a different kind of pressure. Every argument, every viral moment, every appearance with Blueface carried new risks. Any violation could send her straight to jail. Most importantly, she couldn't risk jail time while carrying a child, and she couldn't risk jail time after giving birth either. The thought of being separated from her newborn or losing opportunities to financially support her baby forced her to start breaking old habits. Meanwhile, Blueface said this on Twitter, which says a lot about him and his take on her pregnancy. When he casually says she's pregnant, people naturally jump straight to the obvious question, so who exactly got her pregnant? And the thing is, even though he keeps denying that he's the baby's father, the conclusion just keeps growing. Her thought of staying out of trouble, however, did not last long until August 2023, when Chrisean Rock was charged with second-degree assault. This happened while she was actively filming for Baddies East. Although the details of the incident were not fully public, the charge alone made things intense, and blogs soon published her name over and over. For more than a year, people had associated her with volatility, emotional fights, and chaotic moments, especially because so much of her life was being recorded, live-streamed, or shared online by fans and blogs. Regardless of all the allegations against Chrisean Rock, Lemuel Plummer attempted to ensure that nothing truly went down between Chrisean Rock and Whoa Vicky. The Zeus Network, which is known for hosting some of the wildest and most chaotic reality shows out right now, had to step in and clear the air because things started getting messy online. Since Zeus is home to Chrisean and Blueface's show, Crazy in Love, plus the whole Baddies franchise, people immediately assumed the drama happened during filming. And to make things even louder, reports came out saying Chrisean was facing second-degree assault charges from Baddies East cast member Whoa Vicky. But according to Plummer, none of that happened while cameras were rolling. He hopped on Instagram to make it clear that if anything happened at all, it wasn't part of the show, and fans shouldn't be blaming Zeus for something they didn't film. He wrote, Chrisean Rock has not gotten into a physical altercation with anyone on set during the filming of Baddies East. Anyone claiming otherwise is all cap. Well, the publicity definitely helps the show to be in the spotlight. The biggest moment of the year came on September 3rd, 2023, when she gave birth to her son, Chrisean Jesus Malone Jr. She broadcast part of the birth on Instagram Live, making a deeply personal moment public. Meanwhile, Blueface stirred further controversy. He threatened to file for custody, accusing her of being selfish and questioning her ability to prioritize their child. In his own messages, he claimed he and Chrisean had broken up months earlier, writing on social media that he moved on, referencing his other baby mama. Ooh. When she went through a whole pregnancy, this was what Blueface replied. Only a few days after she gave birth, Blueface started hinting online that he wasn't even sure the baby was his. And he didn't keep those doubts behind the scenes. He put them straight on social media for everyone to see. According to Complex, he later claimed that a DNA test proved he wasn't the father. But that didn't sit right with a lot of people. Many of Chrisean's supporters were triggered by the news, partly because it came from him, and partly because it didn't sound all that believable. After all, he had been denying the possibility of being the father from the start and wanted nothing to do with Chrisean's pregnancy or the baby, Chrisean Jr. So the timing and the sudden confirmation felt suspicious to many. Carlissa Saffold, aka Blueface's mother, has also never been happy with their union, let alone her pregnancy. She has been vocal on social media ever since Blueface got released from jail, and Chrisean Jr. is stuck in the middle of it all. Whenever her son is involved in some sort of drama, you can be sure that Saffold will comment on it. Saffold claims that someone came up to her with a sample of Chrisean Jr.'s DNA. The implication being that Saffold should get a DNA test done to determine whether or not the baby really does belong to Blueface. In her rant, Blueface's mom was playing coy about what she wanted to do with the sample. However, she would go on to post a photo of a grandparent DNA test kit. Of course, this suggests that she wants to see if she is really the child's grandmother.
And I got that DNA because somebody handed it to me. I don't know who handed it to me yesterday, but somebody handed me some DNA. I ain't gonna say who handed it to me, but somebody did. And I don't do it, but somebody did. Okay? And I'm gonna find out. And I think even if it ain't yours and you find that you have a heart and you need to help him, that's on you. But I wouldn't be trying to go to jail for nobody that ain't mine. I wouldn't be risking my life for nobody that ain't mine. But if you find out that that's your baby, you do what you do, and I'm here to support you. Okay? I ain't gonna get beat up or go to jail, girlfriend.
Paternity debates surrounding Chrisean Jr. have been frequent ever since the child was born. There was even a time when Chrisean Rock's ex was claiming to be the father. Regardless, Blueface and Chrisean Rock continue to operate as though the baby belongs to Blueface. There is no evidence to suggest Blue is not actually the father. The paternity statements were part of a larger pattern in the pair's dynamic. Instead of handling issues behind the scenes, they communicated major personal matters through posts, lives, and tweets. Blueface's online presence only made things worse, especially when it could have been handled privately. Chrisean's response came quickly and emotionally. She went on Instagram Live and confronted the entire situation head-on. Her reaction wasn't just to the paternity claim, it was to the ongoing cycle of public attacks, mixed messages, and disruptions that had followed their relationship for years. She asked directly, "What do you want from me, bro?" From the way it seemed, she was purely exhausted and frustrated about how things went down with them.
It's ready. We're ready. We're ready if you're ready.
It's that simple. It's just when your contraction comes, get them out of there. You heard me, Sean?
Everybody feels scared, but you're doing great. It's gonna be okay.
You got it. God is with you.
Just say you're sorry. I know nervous. All right, come on. I want to watch. You ready? We're starting another one. Pull your legs back. Grab back here. Big deep breath in. Curl up. Grab your legs. Curl up and push. Don't let it out. 2, 3, 4. Yes.
Push that baby.
No, he's there.
He coming. He coming, baby. Push.
Push.
Push, baby. Thank you, Jesus.
Big deep breath. Curl up. Push.
Thank you, Jesus. God is life. Hallelujah.
She also explained why she made certain decisions surrounding the birth. Chrisean said she intentionally delivered her son in Baltimore, near her family and support system, rather than in Los Angeles, where much of the drama surrounding her and Blueface had taken place. She stated that she did not invite Blueface to the birth on purpose. For her, giving birth away from him and in her hometown wasn't about hiding. It was about control and protection. She wanted the delivery to be peaceful, focused, and free from the chaos that often followed their interactions. All of this paternity drama comes just a day after Saffold went viral for her rant against Chrisean. In this rant, she accused the reality star of being evil for putting Jaden Alexis' children in a compromising situation. Saffold believes Chrisean Rock purposely ruined Blueface's first day out of jail. It is sad how a newborn is in the middle of grown people arguing over nothing. Although Blueface previously confirmed on Twitter that it wasn't his baby, the couple confirmed the news together with DNA results on their reality show Chrisean Rock. And the fact that Blueface was certainly Chrisean Jr.'s father, the alleged father is not excluded as the biological father of the fetus, the paper read, which Blueface at first thought was a way of saying he is not the dad. After further clarification, he realized he indeed was, and went in for a kiss from his on-again, off-again girlfriend. Prior to the results, Blueface came around anyway, acknowledging that there's a pretty high chance that he is indeed the father. That baby diaper finna be shitty as hell. I can see it now. He said in an Instagram live, "We finna have a doo-doo baby, oh on God. I done already chalked it up. There's an 8 out of 10 chance it's mine, I ain't gonna lie. Them odds is pretty high. So people on here that's like, I thought you said it wasn't your baby. I ain't stupid. There's a 20% chance it's not my baby, but there's an 80% chance it is, on God. You hear me? Y'all be more realistic on this. All this back and forth just for the baby ending up his own after all. Viewers were actually pretty happy to see Blueface finally take some accountability for once. And to be fair, that's all Chrisean ever really wanted from him. She just wanted him to show up for their baby and be a real father. But at the same time, some people started calling her out for switching up so fast and acting lovey-dovey with the same man who let her down during her entire pregnancy and didn't even want the baby in the first place. That back and forth, along with their constant public drama, is exactly why Chrisean Rock and Blueface remain one of the most controversial couples in the hip-hop world. After her baby was born, October 2023 became one of the most intense months in Chrisean Rock's public timeline. It was a moment when the chaos of her relationship with Blueface, the stress of early motherhood, and her ongoing legal issues all converged into a high-pressure, high-visibility period. Musically, she released the diss track Mr. Take Ya with Lil Maboo, a song which was both a comeback and something that represented her state of mind. The track wasn't subtle. She used the lyrics to address her resentment, betrayal, and the sense of being used or disrespected by Blueface and people around him. She even called out his manager directly, signaling that she was no longer protecting anyone's image. Around the same October timeframe, her former hairstylist filed a civil lawsuit naming both Chrisean Rock and the Zeus Network. The allegations sprang from an incident at the Baddies premiere earlier in the year. According to the filing, the stylist claimed assault, battery, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. The lawsuit suggested that an altercation occurred at the premiere event and that Zeus had some level of responsibility because it happened under their umbrella. As if Chrisean didn't have enough legal pressure, another one from her stylist made it even worse for her. Well, that's how almost all year went, and it very clearly did not stop there. The Chrisean Rock and Blueface drama turned up a notch in December 2023. Chrisean went public first, posting emotional videos and statements accusing Blueface of physically assaulting her during the exchange. She claimed he ambushed her, punched her repeatedly, and left what she described as bloody evidence on the side of her car. According to her account, the attack was sudden, unprovoked, and witnessed by others. Her posts spread rapidly, and TMZ picked up the story. The situation got people taking sides right away. Some believed Chrisean wholeheartedly, based on their unstable history of the relationship. Others waited to hear Blueface's side. Blueface responded quickly, but with a very different version of events. He denied assaulting her and claimed that she arrived unexpectedly, catching him off guard. His main argument centered on the baby's safety. He publicly accused Chrisean of transporting their infant without a proper car seat, which he said was the real cause of the confrontation. In his telling, the issue wasn't violence, it was parenting responsibility. He also framed Chrisean's accusations as exaggerated and driven by emotion. His online posts emphasized that she was unstable, that she had shown up unannounced, and that she was mishandling their child. Again, his responses unfolded publicly, not privately. As the back and forth intensified, Blueface added another layer to his explanation. He claimed that social media was just entertainment for him and insisted that he had moved on from their relationship. He portrayed Chrisean's posts as dramatizations, rather than factual reports of what happened. By the end of December, Blueface had just dropped fresh content yet again. A video went viral showing Blueface at a fast food drive-thru asking employees for their phone numbers. The clip drew immediate attention because it was unusual behavior for a celebrity, and fans quickly circulated it on social media. While the video did not involve Chrisean directly, it became part of the ongoing narrative around Blueface's public behavior during this period, emphasizing how much of his personal life was constantly on display online. Earlier that month, a post circulated showing Blueface taking what appeared to be urgent action involving his son, Chrisean Jr. In the video, he was seen intervening in a situation in the early morning to ensure the baby's safety. I mean, he is also a parent. The whole idea of intervening to ensure his baby's safety just didn't make sense to me. Let me know if it does to you. In August 2024, Blueface was sentenced to 4 years in prison after violating the terms of his probation. The underlying issue stems from a battery-related incident in 2021, for which he had originally been placed on probation. That probation carried strict conditions, including avoiding new legal trouble, complying with court-ordered rules, and maintaining good behavior. The violation that triggered the prison sentence reportedly involved actions inconsistent with those conditions. The sentence had immediate and significant consequences for his personal and professional life. For one, it limited his freedom of movement, his ability to tour, and his music projects. Social media and public appearances were no longer under his control, and ongoing collaborations or live performances were delayed or canceled. For Chrisean Rock, the imprisonment introduced new challenges in co-parenting. With Blueface behind bars, her ability to coordinate custody visits, communicate about the child, and manage disagreements became more complicated. Any arrangements now had to go through legal channels or intermediaries, reducing direct contact between the two parents. From Chrisean's perspective, 2023 was also tough, given all the public disputes, allegations of violence, and custody issues were now compounded by the reality of the father of her child being jailed. The prison sentence also affected public perception. Blueface's legal struggles and imprisonment became another headline in the ongoing saga between him and Chrisean, reinforcing patterns of drama, volatility, and highly publicized personal conflicts. In June 2024, Chrisean Rock faced a significant legal consequence when she was sentenced to 30 days in jail and 12 months of probation after pleading no contest to assault charges. The charges were based from an incident at Novo, a popular downtown Los Angeles venue. According to reports, the incident involved a confrontation with dancer James Wright. Chrisean was accused of striking Wright multiple times with rings, resulting in injuries severe enough to reportedly break 2 of his teeth. The nature of the assault drew considerable attention, both because of her celebrity status and because it was part of a broader pattern of publicized conflicts. As part of her sentence, Chrisean was issued a protective order. She was required to stay at least 100 yards away from both James Wright and the Novo venue. This order limited her freedom in terms of attending events, social appearances, or being in certain public spaces where Wright might also be present. Chrisean was at a San Fernando Valley courthouse supporting Blueface during his probation hearing when she was arrested. This overlap highlighted how both Chrisean and Blueface's legal troubles were intertwined, each facing court proceedings. From Chrisean saying, "Got no time for jail" because she has a son to raise, to appearing on the Oklahoma Department of Corrections, she has come a long way. Meanwhile, if you're wondering what's up with Blueface and Chrisean Rock's relationship, Here it is as of 2024. During an Instagram live session, Chrisean clarified that she and Blueface had exchanged vows over the phone on November 2nd, 2024, officiated by a pastor. She described the exchange as symbolic, emphasizing that it was not legally binding and did not involve a formal marriage license. The concept of a symbolic marriage reflected several factors. First, both parties were under extreme external pressures. Blueface was serving a 4-year prison sentence following a probation violation connected to prior battery charges, limiting his ability to interact with Chrisean in person, attend court proceedings freely, or participate in daily life events. The jail time most certainly transformed their relationship from a volatile in-person dynamic to one mediated by phone calls, social media posts, and symbolic gestures. For Chrisean, whose own life was marked by ongoing legal challenges, the vows may have represented a way to maintain emotional continuity in a time of profound uncertainty, rather than a fully formalized commitment. It also showed the state of their bond. On one hand, it indicated a level of mutual attachment and a desire to affirm loyalty, despite separation and conflict. On the other hand, the lack of a legal framework revealed underlying mistrust or a recognition of practical limitations. The couple could not formalize a traditional marriage under current circumstances without exposing themselves to potential legal or logistical complications. In parallel with the phone vows, Blueface took another visible step to signify his commitment, reportedly getting a face tattoo bearing Chrisean's name. Blueface taking such a huge leap while being behind bars showed his commitment to their relationship. Despite these gestures, the couple's relationship status remained ambiguous. Various sources described them as on again, off again, vibing, or emotionally linked but not legally married. Fans and media outlets often attempt to categorize relationships within rigid labels, married, single, and separated, but Chrisean and Blueface's interactions defy these simplistic definitions. Finally, the couple's relationship in 2024 must be understood in the context of their shared responsibilities, particularly regarding their son. Co-parenting under conditions of legal conflict, incarceration, and public gossip makes the whole process exceptionally challenging. And as of 2025, things started pretty well, surprisingly. On January 1st, 2025, she reposted a photo of Blueface on her Instagram story with the caption, "Free you, I love you, Jonathan." At first glance, the post seemed like a simple message to her partner serving jail time. However, it definitely led to some mixed reactions from her followers. Fans interpreted it as either a sincere show of loyalty or as a potentially misguided attempt to maintain public attention on their tumultuous relationship. Most of them were already done with their relationship, and the pattern was on and off multiple times throughout the year. The comments read, "Please don't bring them into 2025. Well, that's most certainly understandable. Well, mostly because they weren't wrong about them. Chrisean's spiritual awakening coincided with a public and emotionally charged cutting ties with Blueface. On April 6th, 2025, during an Instagram live session, she confirmed that she had ended the relationship permanently, framing her decision as part of her spiritual transformation. She described Blueface as having gone buck wild following their breakup, alleging that he had become overly possessive, reacted violently to rumors about her interactions with others, and tried to control her social media activity. In the live session, she played a recorded phone call in which Blueface confronted her about who she was spending time with. Chrisean responded assertively, "We talked about this. Why are you trying to be messy?" She reinforced that her decision to step away was rooted in faith and self-preservation. "I've decided to dissociate, leave that man alone, and focus on my purpose Jesus called me for." For Chrisean, this breakup represented more than the end of a romantic connection. It symbolized a deliberate public step toward personal autonomy, motherhood, and spiritual focus. Finally, by April 22nd, 2025, Blueface allegedly had Chrisean physically removed from his Los Angeles home. Reports stated that both he and his father personally executed the eviction, hastily packing her belongings into trash bags and placing them outside. Video footage posted by Blueface's father included the statement, "He is serious this time." Chrisean now embraces her spirituality and describes gospel music as healing her soul. Her baptism in November further confirmed her commitment to this new life, finally taking a break from her past chaos and an embrace of faith, motherhood, and self-reliance. But that's Blueface and Chrisean Rock we're talking about. Let's see how long their commitments last until they figure their way back to each other. What do you think might happen in 2026? Let us know in the comments.